Okay, I'm back out here with the Volantex Sport Cub 500. We know that it can take off in, or land in rough terrain. But let's see if we can take off in rough terrain. Let's start my timer here. Alright, let's see. It can! How about that? This little micro plane can take off out here in this rough terrain. Like I said, if you're a absolute beginner, I wouldn't go below 40% on your throttle when you're cruising around. It does require a little bit of back pressure on the elevator and the turns to keep it nice and level. And if you've got a little bit of time on airplanes, you're not, a complete novice, you can cruise around at about 35% throttle with this plane, no problem. And again, a little bit of back pressure on the elevator and the turns. And if you're going to cruise around at 35% throttle, you don't want to make your turns as sharp as you would at 40%, of course. 40% throttle in beginner mode, which is what we're in right now. You can make full aileron deflections, a little bit of back pressure on the elevator, and you're not going to stall. This is one of the most stable little trainers I have flown. This thing is just easy to fly. Alright, so let's put it in manual mode. And I noticed in manual mode it wants to kick the nose up a little bit, so I'm probably going to have to trim that elevator a little bit. And also I noticed that the ailerons are fairly abrupt in manual mode. So is the P51 Mustang. The elevator is not as abrupt on this plane as it is on the P51 Mustang, so I haven't decided yet if I'm going to move that control rod down to the bottom hole on the control horn or not. Maybe I will. That was a bad maneuver. But this is in full manual mode. And as you can see, the rolls are still lethargic, even in manual mode. So you want to make sure that you have some altitude before you attempt to roll in manual mode as well. I think the loops perform about the same in manual mode as they do. And oh, I wanted to check. I'll show you what a stall looks like in manual mode. There's a stall. It just kind of noses over. I mean, it's extremely stable. And I'll put it back in beginner mode here again in a minute too. Okay, it just stalls. It just points the nose back down again. Let me turn off my alarm. Okay, so let me put it back in beginner mode. And we'll show you what a stall looks like in beginner mode. But it recovers really well in manual mode from a stall. It's not a problem at all. And as you saw right there, it just, it just kicked the nose down a little bit and it goes on. So that's what a stall looks like in beginner mode. Extremely stable. So I don't think a a beginner is going to have any worries with this plane whatsoever. Now let's bring it in for a landing again. And I love the fact that it can take off out here in this rough terrain, not just land in it, but take off from it as well. Look at that. That is just a piece of cake. You know, I usually can't find great landings, but landing this thing in beginner mode is just easy, easy, easy. So this is a great little trainer plane, and I'll continue to put more time on it, get more depth with it in manual mode. But stall characteristics are really good. There's no worries there. Great at slow flight capability. Fairly aerobatic, you know, for the type of plane that it is. It doesn't have the thrust to weight ratio that the P51 does, but you wouldn't expect it to either, since the P51's a warbird and this is a Sport Cub. But man, what a fun little plane. Volantex has done an excellent job with these little micros. So thanks for watching. Please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the air.